First of all, I wanted to thank you all for coming here tonight on such a rainy evening. Governor Brown will be here shortly to give a statement about the new state budget. However, first of all, before he gets here, I just wanted to clear up a few possible misapprehensions. We are not eliminating funding for the crucial almond-orange crossbreeding program. That is going forward. That is in the budget. Starting hopefully by 2014, all oranges will have full-size almonds inside them, where there might have been seeds had they never had seeds. This will save our economy. The Almorange, or the Almorange, we're still working on like the pronunciation. You guys can obviously weigh in on that. The Almorange is going to basically revolutionize California's economy. There's going to be probably some consumer resistance we're expecting, but we're working on satellite-based taste bud control technology to counter that. However, certain things did have to be cut from the budget. For example, high-speed rail, gone. We're working on some kind of like frisbee-based projection system. It's sort of like skeets where, you know, you just sort of hold on really tight, and we're working with yoga instructors to sort of help train people to sort of think of their spine as like a tower of marshmallows in order to sort of, you know, get the correct balance to stay on the frisbee all the way from LA to San Francisco or vice versa, since it does actually go both ways if people survive one way. Anyway, we're working on that. Also, preschools, Head Start programs, preschools will now be combined into hot tubs because people really like water birth. So we thought, you know, it's sort of the same thing. You know, we'll just have preschools in hot tubs from now on. California, a lot of hot tubs. We figured we can work this out. What else? Let me see. You know, all arts funding is being basically converted into a monkey with like symbols. Like, you know, we think we'll have enough batteries to keep it going for at least 2 years. So, you know, all in all, it could have been much worse when you consider that we had a $26 billion deficit, and including several hidden costs in the budget. For example, our ongoing commitment to supply enough newborn baby blood to fill former Governor Schwarzenegger's sleeping tanks every night, you know, which is actually kind of a costly commitment, it turns out. And, you know, the Xenu Defense Fund, about which the less said the better, you know, there were certain costs in the budget that had to be met. And so, you know, we have to thank all of you for helping us to work out the state budget issues, because obviously you guys were the ones who did the heavy lifting. As members, all of us in this room, as members of the Hooded Claw, the secret cabal, which has been running California since the 1950s, yours is the lion head, the endlessly rotating goat head. Yours is the eagle talon. Yours is the fishtail ankles. Yours is there's like a tail. There's like 10 body parts. Does somebody remember all of them? Anyway, yours is all that stuff. You are members of the Hooded Claw, and we're here tonight to, you know, celebrate our continued, like, secret control over this great, great, great state of California. Unfortunately, before Governor Brown gets here, we really need to take care of some business people because we are falling behind. We are now 4th behind in human sacrifice, behind Texas, and, like, Texas is beating us in human sacrifice. I mean, what the fuck? Also, 7 states. 7 states are ahead of us in giant evil squid god incentives, which New Jersey is doing a better job of pleasing the giant evil squid god than we are. This is not acceptable, okay? This is California. We've got to do better. More virgin sacrifice. We're going to have to start importing virgins from Arizona because they actually have a virgin surplus there. And we're going to have to start stepping up our game here because, you know, the Hooded Claw, we can't just lay down and let, you know, Delaware fucking be more evil than us. That's just not okay. California was a great state once, it can be a great state again. So before we get started, we're all going to strip naked and do the Hooded Claw dance. And any of you who do not know the correct placement of like your right hand and your left elbow between your legs will be exposed as imposters and, you know, beheaded, basically. And, you know, John at the back has the giant scythe. So, here to lead us in the Hooded Claw dance is poet and artist Charles Kruger, who we are super, super excited to have here tonight. He is, in addition to being part of the evil cabal that runs California, he is also a great, great, great poet and an artist, and he writes for litscene.com and a bunch of other publications. And I saw him read a while ago, I think at Quiet Lightning, and I was really blown away by his work. I was really excited by it, and in addition to being a poet, he also has made, I would say, quite a name for himself by sort of building life-size replicas of outsider and underground queer literary figures out of recycled sporting goods, but also expired prescription medications, especially antidepressants, and electroclash CDs are also a crucial ingredient. And his Dennis Cooper made out of tennis rackets is, even Dennis Cooper's best friends cannot tell them apart. And this has caused some kind of hilarious misunderstandings in the men's room occasionally. But the tennis racket Dennis Cooper has actually been invited to speak at several universities, as well as, like, you know, a few Radical Fairy roasts, which are sort of, you know, they're like regular roasts, except anyway. So he also was responsible for the I think it was the wiffle ball at Cafe Acker, which is also a giant success. So, but he really wanted to take it to the next level, and like, what do you do when you've already immortalized most of our sort of outsider, transgressive literary icons in sporting goods? And, you know, one thing he experimented was you know, just getting bigger and more ambitious. And indeed, anybody who's been to San Luis Obispo will remember the 3 times scale Allen Ginsberg made out of snowmobiles, which is pretty much the defining feature of San Luis Obispo at this point. I mean, you know, there are other things about it that are memorable, but the snowmobile Allen Ginsberg tends to stand out. He kind of towers, literally. But then Charles Kruger started to think that, why are we wasting time, you know, buying these sporting goods at sporting goods stores and using them for sport, whatever that is, before they can be turned into queer literary icons? Why not just skip all that and go straight to the queerness? And indeed, this launched a huge debate in the sporting goods community, with some people arguing that sporting goods could actually be used for sports first, and others arguing that this was wasteful and might potentially damage some of these materials. And, you know, this went on and on for years, and Charles Kruger wrote a series of essays, which became a poem, which became a Broadway musical, which became an award-winning television commercial for Energy Fondue, which, have you had it? It's basically like Red Bull that you can dip bread into. It's awesome. Anyway, so this went on, and finally, like, a compromise was reached, and now most sporting goods that are sold can, in fact, are in a condition where, when they're not being used for sports, they can be combined into queer literary icons. Like, you have 7 or 8 of them. It's sort of like Voltron. If Voltron was, like, you know, Dorothy Allison made out of, like, you know, baseballs and aluminum bats and things. Just sort of picture that. And so what this has meant that a lot of rec rooms now have queer literary icons in them, like pretty much 24/7, because people always buy these sporting goods and then sort of never get around to using them. And so, you know, this has really transformed American culture. And then, of course, meanwhile, you know, Charles Kruger's essay that led to this development, his, like, essay mega poem, has now been translated into more languages than currently exist, and I think actually more languages than have ever existed in the history of the human race, which is quite an accomplishment if you think about it. So please welcome the amazing Charles Kruger.